So, what made you actually quit your job?
When I quit my job, it was one of the best days of my life. It was empowering. I knew that I could leave. I knew that I was financially comfortable. I got to tell a few arseholes what I thought of them. And I'm listening to squirts earning 46k talk to people like they're crap. I don't get it. You're all backstabbing for promotions. And then I'm being chased. Aaron, why are you not promoting? You've been here 8 years. Why are you not promoting? Because I don't fucking want to. Because I'm trying to build an empire and stop fucking bugging me. Leave me alone. I just went back to my desk, packed up my stuff. I called over my line manager at the time. I told her a few things, what I thought of her. And now they all watch me on TikTok. Be the last one in, first one out stems from respecting your time. You are contracted to do a certain amount of hours in the workplace, go in, do them, and then leave on time. And then when you leave, utilize your valuable time and respect yourself. Don't be the muppet that stays behind at work and you're not even being paid for it. Hence why I say last one in, first one out. It's not a lazy work ethic, it's smart. In a step-by-step process, if you want to leave your job and you are solely committed to escaping by building your own business, the first thing you need to do.
Welcome to the CEO of You podcast, where we interview go-getters, entrepreneurs, and people who are making things happen for themselves. Today, we got a big guest on, Aaron Knightley, someone myself who I've followed for a while, and he's also been doing great things. Seen his content, he's also content with his son as well. He's got some good content, and then today he's coming to drop some gems for you guys.
Some real gems. And Aaron, I always start with this. I like to know how a person was brought up, what their family was like. How was your upbringing?
Well, firstly, thanks for having me on. So I appreciate you inviting me onto the podcast, which is awesome.
No problem.
As we were saying off camera, my upbringing was very to the point. No BS. My parents are, I would say, they're go-getters in terms of hard work. So I've always seen hard work my entire life. I've always said it. I said it on my wedding day. My dad is the hardest working man that I've ever met in my life. I wouldn't say that hard work is smart work, because obviously I think there's a difference nowadays. But I saw solid hard work and providing for their children and good habits. Like, some parents, I don't think, show their children good habits. I was very lucky that although my mum and dad didn't have a lot of money, I saw that they had good habits. They didn't spend money that they didn't have. And they always made sure that my sister and I had, everything that we wanted or what we could have. So in an younger alpha male, you've got other males that are also trying to sort of rub shoulders and stuff like that. So I thought, well, I wasn't always the biggest, but I could certainly hold a room, if you know what I mean. The best way I can explain it is that, let's put it this way. This is a really weird analogy. If there was a zombie apocalypse and there was someone who had to make decisions, I'm pretty sure I'm that guy that would be making the decisions regardless of size. Like, I think we'd all be listening to my plan. That's what I believe.
Have you watched The Walking Dead?
I have. I think I do. I think I do all right. I think I do all right. Plus, I've been shooting for nearly 10 years now, so.
Really?
I've got a bit of an armory, but we won't go into that.
So you got your license?
I got a section 1, section 2. But
serious in the UK as well, right?
No, I was thinking in the UK. Okay, that's different.
I've been shooting for a while. Yeah, in fact, my wife's done a lot of shooting as well.
You guys didn't do it together?
Yeah, we've shotguns, rifles, all sorts.
Okay, so even then, when we meet a lot of our guests, they've always said they've had some defining moments throughout their childhood. And obviously, for someone like yourself, you're probably the first one who said, confident, I was already outgoing. Where do you feel like this all just stemmed from? Would you say it was leading back to the family where you're seeing everyone's just had confidence, or was it just you in nature? Like, I could imagine people looked at you like, wow, how is he just so confident? How is he able to just do this, do that? and not give a fuck about anyone else thinks.
I think that's the case. I mean, if, when people meet our son, is that it's the same with him. He's so confident, he's a lot politer than I was. Well, I was polite, when I go around a friend's house. But in terms of really building relationships at an earlier age, he's brilliant. He's far better than what I was. But very, very confident. I think it was just in me. But I played football for this, centre of excellence when I was younger. So that instilled high levels of discipline. I had to achieve certain school reports in order to leave school twice a week when I was younger. So everyone else had to do the 5-day week. I didn't. I could leave school for 2 weeks to go play with the reserves. And, I travelled all around the country. So that kept me disciplined. That kept my fitness high because I had to be a certain level of fitness to play at high levels. Of course, then when I went into boxing, what does that do? That instills discipline. You realise you're not the biggest, the baddest, but you learn to take punches. You learn to, train harder. And also, no one's ever had to tell me this, but the quote of never run against people that you're faster than. Like you're never going to get a quicker time. So I've always, even if I remember when I was back as a kid playing football on Sunday, my dad would take me to play with fully grown adults, and I'd be like 6, 7, 8, and some of them went really hard on me. But what it did is it made me play at a higher level, going back to the whole never be the smartest person in the room. So I think just with all of that over years, and then seeing just good, solid habits from my parents, I think moulded me for discipline. And my parents didn't make excuses, which obviously we'll come on to, I'm sure, in the podcast. But I don't make excuses either. If I fuck up, I fucked up. I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to be, it's the world. No, I did it. And I'm sorry, or, whatever. And let's move on.
Do you feel like, obviously, especially in this generation now, a lot of things are going soft. Do you feel like a lot of people are just, it's that person's fault. I can do it later. When you see kids, like especially younger people, our age, teenagers, what do you think of them?
I think everyone's trying to prove a point. That's the problem. I think people are too soft, but I think also we have too much exposure and not enough education. So, for example, in school, we're not taught to turn around to kids and say, look, you're going to leave here and you're going to think that you need to be a size 6 if you're a woman, big bum, big boobs, and if you're a guy, you need to have loads of money and massive quads. So it's not like that. That's not the way of the world, and there's no countering. So when people leave, they expect, I thought this was going to be quite easy. Well, I saw a guy who was wearing a Rolex, and I can only afford, cheap Armani at the moment. What's going on? So, so it must be this, or it's someone else's fault. And then you get into this whole blame culture. But also, I think people are influenced too easy to hang around with the wrong people. And then after a certain amount of time, it's so much easier for me to say, well, it's because of him. I could have done better, but I hung around with him for too long. Oh, right, so it's his problem. No, it's yours. So I think parents are a big responsibility. I do. I kind of got a bit of a thing that if you want your kids to do better than you, well, pull your finger out and teach them more. And also I think we're exposed to too much comparison of like this perfect lifestyle, and that leads to this whole, well, it hasn't happened yet. I'm only 22 and I'm not a millionaire. What's going on? So I think we see too much exposure of stuff,
Yeah. And there was one thing that you spoke about off camera, and you were like, you don't really talk about it because you don't it's business and personal life and stuff like that. Your time in football.
Yeah.
How come you don't talk about it? And how was your time in football? Because you went to a pretty good level.
Because especially being in that level, I know for a fact, because I've also been there, it's a mental game when you have setbacks, get an injury, new manager comes in, you need to now do more to,
I played for a Centre of Excellence, which is probably called an academy now. And I've played all over the UK. I've played against some Premier Leagues and stuff like that, and I was a very good player.
What position?
Centre back.
Centre back.
Yeah. I played with Lewis Dunk for many years. There you go. That might tell you something. But I don't talk about it because I still love the game of football. I think that's what it is. I love it. Well, United originally, to be honest with you. So there we go.
It's the wrong team. Yeah. It's the wrong team.
Well, big Beckham fan. But no, look, I think because I still love the game of football is probably why I don't talk about it. Because when I talk about it, I could really get into it with you. And then I've got to relive it all. I've got to go through it all. And for where I am at the moment, and the value that I can add to people, me talking about my football history is probably not going to go well and align with what I'm trying to offer to people and add value. So it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just that it was something in my past. I loved it, and I kind of just have to leave it there. So it's, it's just.
You still have a massive emotional.
Yeah, I love it. Like
attachment
even
to it,
playing football now, I love it. Like I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
I love the language of it. I love getting involved. I love putting the boots on.
I'm guessing you still watch
Everything.
it as well.
No, I don't. Purely
wow.
because it's just reliving it. I might watch a big game,
Yeah.
but even then watching it, like especially at centre back, you view the pitch. You see what happens before it happens, and I'm very vocal. Like I was loud on the pitch. So I
mean,
probably
that's why you didn't continue on.
Well, I did. I went for. I did. I got dig trials at Pompey. I went and played at the first team for Crawley and stuff like that. But it wasn't the same level as what I was playing at, and I couldn't. As a 16-year-old, you can't see beyond it when you've had such a knockback. I couldn't see beyond where I was. I was like, hang on, I've been playing against Chelsea and Fulham and West Ham, and now I'm playing a Conference League. And it's like you can only go as quick as your slowest man. And we had some slow men. And I was like, oh, this is killing me. So, and then I shifted into boxing. To, because that was, again, it was a challenge for me. I fought at welterweight. I was amateur. I was licensed. And it was another challenge for me. So, but meanwhile, this was like always keeping me disciplined. I didn't hang around with the wrong, I did and I didn't. I did hang around with some wrong people. But I never went down like any drugs or any like getting addicted to drinking alcohol.
So what's the wrong people? What do you mean by wrong people?
Well, people who have no ambition, people who just want to, like for example, I know kiddies who I used to grow up with. They're still walking around in TNs and trackies and they look the same, they talk the same. There's no growth. Nothing has happened. They're still on universal credit.
Damn, you see.
So it's like that nothing's happened. They're always in the pub every Saturday, smoking and drinking. Nothing else has happened. They're still talking about who's done this. Shania's done this. Leroy's done that. Tyrone's over there, and Lucas is here, and David's ended up with Lucy, and whatever. It's all just drama, and there's been no growth. And I just
disconnected from all that.
But again, it wasn't hard. I was just like, just didn't answer phone calls anymore. And then I've even had people say, "Oh, you didn't answer your message." No, I just look at them. Other people would come up with an excuse. No, I didn't.
Fairs.
I'll see you later. And they'd be like, "Fine, I'm just not bothered."
That's it. I'm just not bothered.
I'm just not bothered. I'm just not.
So have you ever cut off like any close friends?
Like real
close because they weren't on the same journey. So for me, it's like only friend, same
Yeah.
journey, same mindset.
Yeah.
All my other boys, I had a call from one of them every day saying, "You coming out?" I was like,
No.
"Nah."
I have, but again, I'm probably coming from the point it wasn't hard, so I can't really say that it was like dramatic for me because I have cut people off, but it's nothing like to scream off the rooftop because it was just a case of when obviously my son came into my life, it was very much a case of I need to get very laser zone sort of focused, and really
Feel like you gave you purpose?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, to really figure out and not to waste time. I think that was one of my biggest things. Is not that's one of my like massive things now. Is always time evaluation. Like, if I do that, what's my return on time invested? It's always that. So when you're hanging around with people and you sit down, I've done it before, and you sat and had a coffee with someone and they're just moaning about life or the news and everything like that, and you come away and you feel deflated and you're like, fuck, that was 2 hours of my life. Like, I'm not getting that back. And that can only happen so many times. And it's like when people turn around and say I haven't got time, one of my quotes now is that I will find you time. I would want to look at your phone and I want to see where you're spending your time. Right, you've done 2 hours scrolling on Instagram. What's that about? No, well, rubbish. Get on with it. What have you been doing? Oh, I spend 4 hours watching this. Right, exactly. Like, so it's, we can all find time.
Yeah, true.
So I just cut people off, but I've also cut, like I was saying, family member off as well, because if I find something too toxic or it starts coming into my zone or my family, I just gone. neither here or there.
How do you do that though? Do you send them a message? Do you just ignore the calls or?
Oh, well, no, this one was a sit down and I just said everything that
Face
I
to
thought.
face?
Yeah, face to face, said everything that I thought, how bad, how toxic. I don't want anything to do with it and I'm done. I've got no interest. I got up and trained, went to the gym. That was it.
You
Done.
just got up and let you.
Done.
Did you wait to hear their side or you just said, nah,
Not
that's it?
interested. Didn't get a word in. Literally, I had notes. Didn't get a word in.
I said I had notes.
It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke.
Damn.
Well, you just came with the this. That's it. I'm out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, went off on one. All legit, like, you know, backed up because I had enough. I don't do what I don't like. I don't like fake people.
Beating around the bush.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it. Let's put it this way. I don't like when people turn around to me and say, "Oh, I've been really successful," and then you're not honest from the off. And I turn and I find out you got rich mummy and daddy. I'll be saying to you,
okay.
"Wait, weren't you then? Was it? Why didn't you say that from the beginning?"
Are you the type of
I
person
don't- I
to
don't
draw
like-
them out as well? Like, wait, you told me you were
Oh,
successful.
God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I won't beat around the bush. I had a friend of mine, Ben. He turned round at my old job and he said, "Oh, fuck, I've got marker on my jumper." And I said to him, I went, "Why are you bothered?" And he went, "Well, it's a 380 quid jumper." I went, "What the fuck does your parent do?" I said, "What do your parents do?" And he was like, "Oh, no." I said, "What's your old man's name?" And he went, "No, so." Anyway, I dragged it out of him, went on company's house. His old man does like 9.5 million a year. But he's very good about it. Like, he doesn't brag about it. He doesn't claim that he's got money. And then when I found out, he's like, "Yeah, look, I live a good life." But he was honest, and I like that.
Yes.
I like honesty. And if I find out that you've been claiming that you're this and you're that, and then you're not, it really winds me up, and that's probably us done. I don't like it at all. Because I don't do that, and I haven't come from that. And I'm extremely proud that my Audible hours and everything I've done and the traveling
Let
to
them know
London,
the hours.
How many Audible hours you got? Because when you told us the amount of books,
we're probably on 2 months, about 19 hours, some in odd minutes and seconds. It's over 2
how many
months.
books is that?
I've done 192 books
Do you
in
not- do you not read-
total.
Do you not read though?
No.
Nah.
Where's the value in time? Just that's what I'll go back to. I can drive somewhere.
Okay, maybe
Listen
because to
to a
learn
book.
things, I prefer to just read it. Like, I can understand it a lot better.
No, so in my old job, I drove half hour one way, drove half hour back, or, you know, call it 45 if it's bad traffic. That's 90 minutes of learning, if you see what I mean. And then even in my old job, I'd plug in headphones, I'd be learning at work.
fair, that was like me
I'd
at
learn
Argos.
all the time.
So that was like my driving job. Yeah.
Yeah. When I go to the gym in the morning, I don't listen to music, I listen to Audible. Like, I've just finished Alex Hormozi's 100 Million Offers. Brilliant book. You know, very relatable to my business, the event business, what I do with Breakout and stuff like that. So I just, I'll always work out return on time invested, you know? I don't waste time.
What came first? Did your son come first, or did your full-time employment come first?
Oh, I was employed first. Yeah.
You was employed first.
Tell us about that, because you mentioned earlier your son and the full-time employment was some of the major shifts in your mindset and, as you said, your time focus.
Yeah. I think when you have a child, you realise it's very expensive. So I think that's one thing, is you realise
My
the
cousin
money.
had the child and she actually said diapers
Yeah.
aren't cheap. these days.
So when you don't have a child, it's all about you.
Yeah.
But it's weird. So, for example, sounds a bit strong, but, you know, if you two were to attack me, I'll defend myself. But I won't look to do any more than defend myself. If you go for my son, I end both of you. It's done. So when you have a child, it's like there's this fire. It's, you know, until you're a parent, you can't explain it. Like, you know, it's just this change in you. So I knew that.
How did you feel? Yeah, let's hear how you felt with that change.
Well, I think for the first couple of weeks of having him as a father, and this is quite common, I didn't really feel anything. It was a bit weird. Like you're sort of, because you don't carry the child. As the mother carries the child. So you're a little bit in no man's land. You don't know how to feel, and you know it's your child, so you're a little bit, I don't know. But then as your child sort of comes out of themselves, you start to see you in them, and then all of a sudden it's like you have this light bulb moment. It's like, wow, this is it now, which then gives you perspective, right? I need to be smart. I need to make better decisions. I need to take into consideration where the world is going. How are we going to live financially? I want more time with my family. You know, I want to enjoy all of this as a family. So you start to make smarter decisions. Or some people don't, but I did. And, you know, I come from a very family-orientated family. So that was really important for me. So that's when the plan started happening in employment. You know, I wasn't going in and brown-nosing anyone. I've never brown-nosed anyone in my life, ever.
What's brown nose?
You know, when you're sucking up to someone, you know, you're staying in the pocket, you know, you're sort of just cleaning the arse of a manager.
You're not getting brown.
Yeah, I get it.
You're cleaning the arse of a manager. I've never done that. I've always been my own person, and that's never gone well in employment because they want sheep. I've never been a sheep. I've been the shepherd. So I knew that when I was employed, I was there to pay bills, get financially set up. I built a very big emergency fund. I stacked my maintenance fund. I had a floating fund. I was maxing out my stocks and shares ISA.
What's a floating fund?
A floating fund is your thinking time if you do something irrational. So you have your emergency fund, which you build first.
Yeah.
That just pays for living expenses, bills. Your maintenance fund means that you don't have to dip into your emergency fund if your fridge goes or you need an MOT. So we have separate funds that if our car's capoodle, we use our maintenance fund, not our emergency fund. That's for living. Floating fund is like a month for all expenses if you do something irrational. If I'm sitting here and you're interviewing me and I'm in investigation, I think this is fucking bullshit, I'm leaving, I walk out and I quit my job, and then I think, fuck, why did I do that? I should have just kept my cool just for a second. Fuck, I'm out of a job. I'm gonna have to do I find another job? Do I now start the business? You've got a month to think about it. Your floating fund. So you don't start these two reserve funds yet. You've got a month to think. Do I go back and say sorry? Do I try and get my job back? But this is just going to keep you afloat. You know, and I've always done that. You know, we've not had nice cars for a long time. For years, we've literally driven around on the Orange. Like, not even a joke. You know, we used to drive around on the Orange all the time. So for years, we've never had like expensive clothes. We didn't buy anything expensive. We were just good with money. And then after a certain point, you go, well, I've got the money to get it now. But the fundamentals are done, which is why when young people turn around to me and say, Aaron, I've got £1,000 in the bank. What should I invest in? Have you got an emergency fund? No. Emergency fund. Aaron, I'm thinking, I spoke to Ben down the pub. He said about opening trading 212 and buying EasyJet. Why? Have you got an emergency fund? No. Have you got debt? Yeah. Why are we having this conversation? Like, you need to do the basics. Fundamentally, you need to do the basics. And then you're empowered. Why do most people not quit their job? Why do most people not speak up when someone gets spoken to like shit? Because they haven't got the money to turn around and say, you ain't fucking talking to me like that. Who do you think you are? They don't say anything because they fear for their job. I never feared for my fucking job, ever. Because at any moment I could walk off. And also, if I earn more than you, does that make me a better person than you?
No.
No. Does it make me a better person than you? Right. So why is that in the workplace?
It's more of the dynamic as well. When they see someone earning more than them, they think, oh,
power
my God, I
hungry.
must respect you.
It's power hungry. You know.
So you built up the emergency, the floating, the maintenance. Then what else did you have?
I was running like stocks and shares, you know, commodities. You know, we were doing fixed investing. We were doing peer-to-peer. We were just, you know, heavily investing. You know, so, but also it was building. When I started going to Mayfair, I started to network in Mayfair. I started traveling up to London on the train. You know, I didn't even know where Mayfair was, by the way, for the record. And then I ended up getting an office in Mayfair. You know, ironically enough, didn't know where Mayfair was, and then for a while I had an office there. But when I started networking with people, if you want to make more money, you don't go to the back of Wales, do you? You go to where money is. Yeah, London is full of money.
Canary.
Yeah, Kensington, Knightsbridge, Mayfair, around Berkeley Square. So I started to have great conversations with people, started to meet great people. And of course, people were introducing me to other people. And then when I realised, I met one guy who was making a lot of money raising equity. And he was only young. And I remember talking to him about, what do you do?
How much is a lot of money?
Well, he was on like commission rate. So, for example...
What was he doing?
Well, if you raise, well, it depends on the commissions. It really is like variables. But if you raise £1 million in equity, you can charge anywhere from 15 to 20%. So you can make anywhere from 150 to 190, 200 grand gross. So when I started talking to people like that, you start to realise that there's a lot of money. But how do you make a lot of money? You need to know people who have money. So, for example, if I asked either of you to raise £1 million by the end of tomorrow, could you do it?
I would go to one person.
I would go to
But
one
could you
person
raise
as
£1
well.
million cash by
Liquid
tomorrow?
Cash?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I can.
Probably
So
not.
that's what I can do. So that takes time. So that's nearly taken me 10 years to be able to do that. That earns me a lot of money. So the fact that I can make these phone calls, who have I got on here? Probably one of the richest guys I've got on here
So
is
if you,
Alan
so
Sugar's
you could
investment
get,
banker.
so you could get liquid $1 million cash.
I could get more than that, yeah.
So if I said to you, could you get $1 million tomorrow?
Yeah.
Could you do that?
I could do it, but you'd never get it because you'd have to tick all the boxes. You'd have to go through incredible DD. But, like one family office that I know, they've got about 40 million quid liquid at the moment.
Just liquid.
Yeah, liquid. A good friend of mine, he's got, my wife knows him, he's got about 20 odd million sitting in a business Santander account. I've seen it.
That's wild.
Just sitting there. So there's a lot of money. So if you want to make money, and this is why I talk about you have to change yourself. You probably know some people, I know some people. These people where you just can't change them. And they're the type where they go, well, I'm not changing for anyone. Those type, where they're just like, I'm not changing for anyone. If they don't like me for who I am, stuff them. Your loss. Because in business, you have to wear different hats, right?
Yeah.
Starting this, you've got to be the editor, you've got to be the CEO, you've got to be the director, you've got to be the liaison officer, you've got to be the cleaner. You've got,
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
So you wear different hats, and it's naive and stupid to turn around and say, well, I'm not changing for anyone. If I didn't change for anyone, and I went into these meetings and I was trying to talk like a div, do you think anyone's going to do any business with me if I sound like I don't know what I'm on about and I'm talking in slang? Some people have got really knocky with me because on my lives, there's this whole thing on TikTok Live at the moment where people are talking like, sup my G, sup G. What business do you do with that? I'm not being rude. What business do you do with that? like serious. I want to raise £1 million. Bruv. Who's lending you £1 million? No one. So, and it's not being arrogant. This is the thing. It's like some people will say, and the reason is some people say it because my face is I just deadpan. And I don't ever I'm never meaning it from a place of being rude or I'm just direct. I just don't want to waste time with
Straight to the
emotions. Just, if you want more, you can have more, but you've got to be more. Mm-hmm. And you can't not change in order to see more. It's just very self-explanatory. And the ones that turn around and say, oh, I'm not changing, I just think, well, crack on.
So somebody's watching this, and doing exactly what you said. How is it you be able to create the network you have? Because you spoke about what you did when you said you was just heading down to London and just meeting people.
Yeah.
How does someone just get the confidence to just do that and then be able to have the kind of contacts in the phone book that you did?
Just, I just went into every meeting very open-minded. So
How did you even get into the meetings?
I made relationships with people. So, I ended up meeting quite influential people, So, is it luck? I don't think it was really luck.
So how did you meet those people? Yeah, like
just in the right route.
Somebody's watching this now.
LinkedIn. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you have to be on LinkedIn because LinkedIn, there are billionaires on LinkedIn and you can talk to them. They're on LinkedIn. Multi-millionaires, family offices, sovereign funds, high net worth, ultra high net worth, sophisticated, institution, equity firms, all on LinkedIn. It's just that you need to know how to use it. It's such a boring platform. So boring. The algorithm's very short. It's not very rewarding. But if you know how to use it, that's where I spend every morning 25 minutes on LinkedIn. Every morning. I've done it for the last 8 years or whatever. Every morning, just nurturing relationships and outbounding and creating certain posts for presence. And So there's great people you can meet, and there's great events that you can go to. And then when you go there, it's just, I always say to people, even when they come to our event, come on your own. If you're not comfortable, it sounds weird, but come on your own, because you're going to be forced to talk to people. If you come together, you're likely to stay together and talk together. Or maybe if you're both outgoing, you're going to talk to people.
I think last time we went, we forgot we was with each other.
Yeah. Well, you should come on the 2nd of November. You should come down to London. Make the trip.
London.
Be worth it. Sales and Business Accelerator.
Sales?
Sales and Business Accelerator. Well, I'm going to hold you to it. Well, there we go. He said he's coming on the 2nd.
You got me at sales.
If he's not coming
on the 2nd of November?
Yeah, and I'll give you a 50% discount for both of you. There you go.
Fair enough. Fantastic.
He's thinking about it. There you go. Well, yeah, for doing this. There you go.
What day is that?
2nd of November.
One
train.
Is that
it's a
Monday?
Thursday evening.
Thursday evening.
People coming down. A lot of people coming down from Birmingham, and Manchester. So.
Okay.
I mean, we said it. We're there.
You've said it, so we'll see. I'll call it out on stage as well. So, but to come and be in those rooms, it's great to network online, but it's different face to face. It's a different vibe, and
It really is.
It's a different vibe, and we've created a room which is insane. It's such a pump. Hence why we're really changing this landscape of going away from the curtains and carpets, and we're bringing this to life with just an incredible business through the event space, because we know what was wrong with it. But in terms of how do people really network, you just go, you just book the ticket. So many people go, it's £35 a ticket to go into London, then I might have to get an Uber, and then I'm probably going to want coffee, that's like 40 quid and stuff. Yeah, but you'll go down the fucking pub and you'll spend like 90 quid on beer, but you won't get a fucking train ticket to London. Priorities. What are you willing to sacrifice? Oh, I don't want to go on my own. I just went on my own all the time. I put it in I told you about this trailer. Mm-hmm. You see me, I just take photos, send it back to my wife, like, shit day, didn't meet anyone. Leaning on the train, just like knackered. I just did it because I had a reason why behind me, to provide for my family, to show my son a better life. I had a reason why. It wasn't always about money. Like, I'm not a flashy person. I don't flash cash. My only Apple Watch. I'll have a Rolex next year, but I don't often treat myself. So I don't have expensive things. We don't buy expensive things. So my reason was so much bigger. So when I had bad times, my rebound time was quick. I can make calls all day long and not be affected, Whereas some people be like, oh, I'm on my 30th call and she just told me to go away and, I'm really upset by it. I'll just keep picking up the fucking phone. I just don't care, and I'll still have the same enthusiasm. It's all a numbers game. So that's how I built a network. I just kept going back into London where the money was. I wanted to make money for the right reasons. I needed to go where money was.
How much is your net worth work?
It's about $2.8 billion.
How much?
But what, my network?
Yeah,
it's about $2.8 billion.
Who's the biggest contact you have?
Without saying the name, obviously.
Well, someone who's involved in our company is probably one of the biggest ones.
Okay.
But even his banker. But then I've got COOs on there that are worth quite a lot.
Okay.
But then I got family offices on here. One in London, one in Dubai.
So how do you utilize such an amazing net worth?
Aaron, well, most recently, can't hear. Most recently, Aaron, I got 150 odd grand to invest. Okay, cool. Have we still got that offering on the product? Yeah. Okay, great. Let me sort something out. Boom, boom, boom. Middle work, all the paperwork, legals, da-da-da. Charge my bit in the middle. Great, I've just earned a year's salary for someone working full-time in employment in about a week. It's not even a joke. Like, that's at the stage. Because when you have people who have money, you can make money. And that's why it's so important to let go of the ego. It's so important to not worry about going down the pub. It's so important not to, it's important to turn around. It's okay to say no. Yeah. Aaron, do you want to go to the pub? Look, let's have a catch up maybe one morning for a coffee, but I'm in the zone at the moment. Why haven't I recently pushed and driven my podcast still? I've needed to focus on the launch and make sure that it's really successful for the breakout. I can't, I'm busy right now. Aaron, when are we recording in the studio? The studio's here waiting for you. Give me time. I need to launch this. This needs to be successful.
Focus on one thing.
I will come back to you, but this needs to be where my time is spent, So, and you do the same with your network. And then when you develop a network, then you can start making great money because you've got the right people in your network. And when you know people that have money, you can also make money.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. If you know people that have 50 quid and £1,000 tops, I don't know what the benefit is. It's nice to have a supportive network, but I believe that there are categories that you put people in. Monday to Friday, well, I enjoy Monday to Monday working, so I need to make sure that my 5 are valuable to my Monday to Monday. Beyond that, I have a friend called Danny. He came around for a nice glass of red wine the other day. I meet a good friend of mine in my old job called Steve, you know, but they're like once every 5-6 weeks.
Okay.
See the spread?
Yeah.
They're not every Saturday. Once every 5-6 weeks.
So even then, so one thing we've been doing is building our skill in sales, marketing, obviously editing. We do everything. Now, obviously, in your network, do you have anybody great in sales? Do you feel like would be a great person to meet?
In terms of my network at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, you know, yeah.
So do you have like a network to the point where if you need someone for this specific skill, it's that diverse where
Yeah.
you come to
So let's put it this way. So the breakout program was started because there is a huge demand of people to break out of their jobs and run a business. So I had that huge demand through TikTok. Every day I was being asked, Aaron, how do I get out of my job? I need to start a business on this. And it needs to be high quality. You know, I pumped a good few thousand into creating this business and making sure that it was high level and it was somewhat timeless, which it is. And it's very, for the price of what it is, it's £280. There's only certain intakes available at a certain time of the year. And then I nurture everyone to produce the results of people going from a job, discreetly managing it, emotional mastery, how to manage building a side hustle into a full-time business without people knowing about it and jeopardizing your chances, and then being able to get in a financial position where you can go, right, I carry on scaling whilst at work. But my aim wasn't to make that a real cash flow baby in the beginning. It's to prove results. Again, I would rather have 20 people that go through my program and are successful than accept all 241 applicants that I had on launch. Could have made a fortune, but I didn't. Because I just wanted to make sure that I had a small unit that I could get through. But that I have around me to take that particular company over the next 18 months to about $250,000. And I'm able to do that because I have people who are in sales, lead funnels, organic, by the way, no paid. I don't do any paid. And I'm not a believer in paid ads, click funnels that are paid for and all that kind of stuff. Organic funnels, organic leading, lead generation. But I have multiple 7-figure business owners around me. Shah Wuzman, who's on stage at Peak Performance, good friend of mine. Daniel Priestley, a friend of a friend. Jason Greystone, a good friend of mine. I'm going airsofting next week, actually. And all multiple 7-figure business owners. Jason this year is going to do $10.9 million in region. How can I not? How can I not make the money when I have the right people around me? Or I could have spent time down the pub wasting my life. You know? Do you see what I'm getting at? There's a theme here, isn't there?
Yeah. So, what made you actually quit your job?
Well, what made me quit that day that I actually quit was...
walk us through that day.
I got an email. So, look, when I quit my job, it was one of the best days of my life. It was empowering. I knew that I could leave. I knew that I was financially comfortable. I got to tell a few arseholes what I thought of them. And the day that I left, I could have left a while ago. Do you remember when I made the phone call back to you? Do you remember when I rang you and I said, I'm leaving? And she just said, are we going to be all right? I went, we're going to be fine. But I'm packing up and I'm leaving. Anyway, I called the biggest boss down and I said, I want to chat with you. And I had this little manager called Janky at the time. I won't say her last name. And she was a right little shit. And she really fucked me off. And she was just disrespectful. There was other managers that were talking to other people. And I just thought, I don't need to be here being spoken to like crap, or I don't need, you know, not that they did it to me, but, you know, trying to be a bit smarmy and a bit sarcastic. And also they'd found out that I was running a business at this time. So bearing in mind, the last 4 weeks of me being there, they were fully aware of all of it, socials, business. So I was being treated very differently.
Okay.
And a few people had changed on me. So I was aware that, and actually, funny enough, the week before I quit, we were walking around the park and I actually said, I think I'm going to quit soon. So it was kind of, the feeling was there. And then, one day I got this shitty email and I thought, I don't need to fucking put up with this. I kept it quiet long enough.
What was in the email?
Oh, it was just about me leaving early. Last one in, first one out. But it was about me leaving early, and I just thought, this is petty. And they were trying to pull CCTV up, and I just thought, I don't need to be here. And bearing in mind, at this point, I was very discreet about how much I was earning. Mm-hmm. I used to drive a little KA to work, so no one thought anything of it. I had a nice car at home, but no one would ever see that. And I just got up, and I just had enough. And I called the biggest boss down. And that day that I left my job and I called her down and she said, are you actually leaving? I said, yeah, I'm leaving, I'm done. And she said, well, what's going on? I said, I think you know what I do outside. And she was like, well, yeah, I kind of know what you do. And she's the biggest boss on site. I said, I'm sick of it, honestly. I'm leaving here being surrounded by business owners, entrepreneurs. The more you help each other, the more that you collaborate, the more that you just share knowledge, the more that you grow and the more that you earn. And then I'm coming back here and I'm listening to squirts earning 46K talk to people like they're crap. I don't get it. And you're all backstabbing for promotions. And then I'm being chased. Aaron, why are you not promoting? You've been here 8 years. Why are you not promoting? Why? Because I don't fucking want to. Because I'm trying to build an empire and stop fucking bugging me. Leave me alone. And I just went back to my desk, packed up my stuff. I called over my line manager at the time. I told her a few things, what I thought of her. And then I left. And that was it. Never went back.
Oh,
Done. And now they all watch me on TikTok. All of them. I'm a bitter taste, apparently, in that place.
Have any messaged you since?
None. I had one guy who moved to Seattle, actually, and he messaged me saying, I see you on TikTok now, wish you all the best. And actually, we were out for dinner the other day, and there was actually a guy who's now a security guard who used to work with me, and he came up to me and he gave me a hug, and he was like, I love what you're doing, and it's great, and, so glad that you got away, and, because he didn't enjoy it at the time as well. But so, but they all watch me, which is a nice feeling. Frank Sinatra said it best. The best form of revenge is success. I don't need to say anything.
True.
I don't need to say anything directly to anyone. They will see.
What's that advice you always give to people? Leave.
First one in. Last one in, first one out. Yeah, be the last one in, first one out stems from respecting your time. Mm-hmm. You are contracted to do a certain amount of hours in the workplace. Go in, do them, and then leave on time. And then when you leave, utilise your valuable time and respect yourself. Don't be the muppet that stays behind at work and you're not even being paid for it. I used to turn around to this one guy called George and I used to say, mate, why are you still here? Another woman called Anna. Why are you still here? It's like 2 hours past your work. Oh, I've got to finish this. No, we're on a 24-hour shift. Like there's another shift coming on. Roll it onto them. No, I can't do it. Brown nosers climbing for a promotion. For what? Like 4K. So you're doing an extra 2 hours, 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month extra, not being paid for a promotion that you've been working for 15 months, which is 7.5 grand. Start your own business. 7.5 grand is minute. Minute. And then you have self-fulfillment and purpose when you build something of your own. Hence why I say last one in, first one out. It's not a lazy work ethic. It's smart. Which is why I also say walk extremely slow in your workplace. Don't walk quick anywhere.
Walk extremely slow.
Yeah, so when you go into your workplace, walk slow. So when you go in Monday morning, walk slow. If you started a job, that is. It's going to be hard for you to retract a fast walk. So I always say, if you're going to start a new job, go in and walk really slow. And I learned this from an older guy who said, you need to slow down. Because I used to walk really quick. Because the problem is, when someone sees someone doing something really quick, you're the chosen one. Right, we need something from the other side of the site. Right, you're the quick one. You'll do it. Right, go over there. I was incredibly slow. I just walked slow everywhere. I was always on my phone, I'd go to the toilet, I'd dither, a little bit like a sensor light. I'd only really work if someone came by me, So it was like I was really slow, so I was never chosen. But some people would go, oh, well, that's lazy. That's lazy. You should be a grafter. But I was being smart because as I was taking my sweet ass time, 15 minutes to walk a minute walk, I was invoicing, I was sending voice notes, I was marketing, I was lead gen, I was running LinkedIn, I was bringing in clients. I'd go to the toilet, sit on the toilet for 20 minutes. I'd be running 21st century business. making calls, little earpiece in. Yeah, I'll get that done. Not a problem, mate. Can we send the invoice on that one? Yeah, great. Okay, I'll get that email over in a minute. Aaron, can you do that? No. But, it was a case of that. So whereas if you're going to be the busy boy, the yes man or the yes woman, where's your time? See what I'm getting at?
Yeah. I feel like employment's so funny because when I was at Argos, they wanted you to come in 30, 45 minutes earlier. You're not allowed to check in until you actually start. So you won't get paid.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then afterwards, they're like, oh, do you mind helping out a bit? But you have to clock out and then help. I'm just like, this is. I'm not here for that.
Yeah, no,
You know
I'm
what
not.
I mean?
Yeah, no.
I'm not here for that.
No, like I had this old manager, Janky. She pissed off one day on shift. And if you're watching this, never fucking liked you. But she pissed off one day and she left at something like 1. And then she messaged me 20 minutes before my shift finished. And we'd already fallen out at this point. Because again, I was my own man. If I didn't agree with it, I'd say, no. You've asked me to do this, but I don't feel that's the best way of doing it for X, Y, and Z. I actually think it should be done this way. Well, just because you're the manager, you get to make the last call. It doesn't work like that. I'm a human. I've come up with a better solution. Let's consider it. When it's not considered, what you're doing is you're doing power trick. You're now trying to micromanage. Don't tell me to suck eggs situation. Anyway, she fucks off for like 4.5 hours. 20 minutes before my end of my shift, she drops me a chime. Can you make sure you're doing all the end of the reports? I just put, no, you do them. Where were you for 4 hours? So she screen capped that, sent that off to HR. So I had all that as well. I had HR say, you've told the manager directly, this is, going against a manager. Right, you want to play that game, I'll play it. Like I've taken a grievance. Long time ago, I took a grievance against the highest possible person and won my grievance. I will go, if I go for you, I go for the jugular.
Yeah.
I was not bothered. I wasn't this like, oh, I'm going to go home and, I'm going to be miserable. Do you remember when I took that grievance against Alyssa? I went in. I had a paper. I stacked it up. Fine. Like, I don't care. When people go home and they'll be like all depressed and, have anxiety because they're worrying about it. I don't care. I'm sitting there planning. Like, how am I going to destroy her?
So you're stacking up the evidence there.
Yeah, literally. Like, honestly, there was a lot of evidence. So anyway, I was taking this grievance. Anyway, I stacked it all up and I just went all in. I didn't go home worrying about it. I just knew that what I had to do is if I won this grievance, it sets a tone for everyone else to go. Because it's hard to win a grievance, especially an employee to win a grievance. Normally, it don't go in favour of the employee. But as long as you have enough evidence and that people who you bring into it are willing to back it up, that's where normally it falls through. Is other witnesses are like, oh, I don't want to get involved because I've got a mortgage to pay and I don't, I know I saw him beat you, but I don't really want to say it. So luckily I had a friend of mine who's still a good friend today, really show up and actually support what I documented and stuff like this. And HR had so many loopholes that they just sort of cocked up on that I ended up winning this grievance. And when you win a grievance against probably the highest person on your site, every other manager's like, fuck, he goes in. Because now that highest manager couldn't promote, couldn't go anywhere for a year, couldn't do anything. Had to be very careful. We had to have...
they were on watch.
Yeah, we had to have like what do you call them? Not mitigation, bloody mediation meetings and stuff like that. And just sit there looking at her, it's like... So I won the grievance and then everyone else left me alone. That was it.
All of that will work.
That was it, yeah. But a lot of other people would crumble under that, and that's why in my content now I talk about you have some options. To fight the system is extremely hard, and it was hard for me, but I wasn't emotionally involved. It didn't affect me emotionally, whereas other people it would cause anxiety, perhaps signing off sick, and if you sign off sick, that's a whole other ball game. The company can actually use that in favour to get you out. Or you find another job, but that's why it's so much more fulfilling to build something for yourself because you don't have any of this. Like my day to day, Monday to Monday, the only person who gives me shit is the boss. That's it. No one else. It's literally just my wife and that's it. No one else gets to tell me what to do. I put up with no shit from no one. That's what I love. And actually a good friend of mine who's been very successful, he said that's one of the benefits is you don't put up with crap from anyone. No one. And that's a massive perk, right? Is waking up and not knowing, not having an issue with someone saying, why were you late? What were you doing? Or, you've been off sick for too long. I don't have any of that. Love it. I do.
Before we continue, have you got any more advice for like 9-to-5ers that want to actually leave?
If you want to leave, you need to look in a step-by-step process. If you want to leave your job and you are solely committed to escaping by building your own business, the first thing you need to do is block everyone on social media, because the more people that can see what you're doing outside of work, the more they will jeopardize the chances of that happening. And it jeopardizes your job that you're currently in, because you could lose that. And that's that safety net of supporting you whilst you're building your job, whilst you're building your business. Because, for example, if I'm planning to escape, or any of you are planning to escape, and you start talking about that openly, you might make someone in that workplace feel a little bit bitter. Oh, you're the big entrepreneur, are you? Planning to leave this place, are you? Well, I'm a lifer, and you're planning to leave. I'm going to jeopardize that. Where are you going? Or if you ever need to pull a sickie, you know, I pulled a sickie a few times to go to Mayfair to have some meetings. I can't have people watching you can't have people seeing your social media. So the first thing is block people on social media. The second thing to escape the 9-to-5 is you need to get your money right. You need to have good money habits, because when you have good money habits, you become empowered to know that you could leave when the time is right. Thirdly, you need to swap the people that you're around. If you're trying to build a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business, you can't be bouncing ideas off someone who's on 32k and does 50 hours a week. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to get you where you need to get to. So you need to pick up your phone, open up your WhatsApp and go, the last 5 conversations that I've had, I've got a lot of penis memes in there. I've got a lot of people falling on the head doing backflips, and my uncle's kind of strange and my mum's just moaning at me. If those are the only conversations you're having, you need to change the conversations, and you need to open up your phone whilst you're at work and go, okay, cool, we're talking about marketing. Okay, cool, right, I'm bringing on a commissioned sales guy. Great. Right, he's going to leverage that time. Okay, cool. I've just met a multimillionaire who said he's going to give me free mentorship just because I'm showing up. I'm enthusiastic. I'm listening more than I'm talking. Great. Those are the types of people that I need to be around. And then it's emotional mastery. Emotional mastery is one of the most important things. I had it down to a T. I just had it. No one needed to tell me. When you get that dopamine hit of business is going well, or you're excited, or after this podcast, you're sitting and thinking, right, let's get the sponsorships. You get excited and you're like, fuck, I want to tell my mum, I want to tell my dad, I've got these big plans. You need to go, let's just do it. Let's not tell everyone about it. Let's just do it, and they'll see the results one day. You don't go telling everyone your big plans, because what happens when you tell everyone you're going to make a load of money? What happens? Falls through. Never happens.
Or
I've got these
getting jealous as well.
Jealous. You know, jealousy is always having, you know, wanting something that you can't have. So those are the process. So if you are looking to quit your job, you need to get your money right, your circles right, your education is massive, and you need to block everyone on social media in order to get out your job.
Perfect.
Serious.
Well said. Now,
It's the actual step by step.
I know, step by step. Now, with all that being said, you said you've had, would you call it an investment from Mr. Sugar?
So when we started Peak Performance Events, their law firm and their trademark company reached out to us. I think that's probably to do with, I mean, sometimes we're actually not sure why. I think we made a lot of positive noise, and I think what was seen was that our company had potential to go quite big, and then it was business on both parts for a sponsorship partnership, which we're still running now, and we'll be negotiating for 2024 with Lord Sugar's company, and also the potential of exposure through our company. So Trademark Wizards, one of his law firms, trademarked us globally, challenged all the petitions that we had to go against logo design, and there's different categories in trademarking and stuff. And I think it was mutually beneficial for good exposure for that one of his companies, and also for us to be trademarked, which also we talk about in our business as well, and how important that is, because it is. Even your logo of, you know, the CEO, even the way you have that and the colours, you know, you can have that trademarked, because for example, let's say you had it on a t-shirt. if you started selling it, you start making profit and you're not trademarked, I could literally come along and go, are they trademarked? No, sue you and then take all your profits and you've got to pay me. It's literally how easy it is. I mean, that in summary, that's what it is if you're not trademarked.
Wow.
So if you start making money and you're not trademarked, I'll challenge you. You know, if you've got the money to challenge me back, happy days. If you haven't, I win and I get all your profits. That's how easy it is.
Someone's
So-
thinking about putting these guys
well,
down.
yeah, and people don't think you need it for logos or branding. You do. So
Would you say the sooner the better?
yeah, look, ours was a lot, but trademarking can be done from a couple of £100 for a logo and for a domain or whatever, or what a slogan, whatever. That can be trademarked. So like this slogan, we have trademarked. And this will go into fitness. It'll be fitness clothing. So it's definitely worth doing. Yeah, and again, this is another business that both my business partner and I are extremely passionate about, and it's something to get our teeth sunk into.
Yeah,
It gives
tell us
you-
about your businesses, guys. We know you do a lot of businesses.
Yeah, I was
when we
literally
spoke
about to bring
earlier.
that up.
Yeah, so Nightly Investments got me out of my job.
Okay, what is Nightly Investments?
That is essentially where we move money and help allocate investors' money go into products or acquisitions to make a return on their money. And then we'll have reputable clients who can provide certain requirements for certain clients. So, and depending on risk element. So that job and that business, that role allowed me to leave my full-time job because it was remote, it was digital, it was timeless, spaceless. I didn't need to be anywhere. Zoom is how we structured our meetings after COVID, hence why I got rid of my office in Mayfair, because I didn't need it. It was just another expense. When I look at businesses, I always think, how can I make maximum profit and have minimal outgoings? That's my life. TikTok, YouTube, all of the social element of it, maximum profit, no outgoing, Wi-Fi. That's it. Nightly Investments, maximum profit, big profits, no outgoings. Zoom, Pro, Wi-Fi, accountant, some expenditure for some subscriptions. You're talking 98% profit margin, 2% expenditure. Got no overheads, no staff. It's all automated. I systemize pretty much everything. It's very slick. Peak performance, all online up until the day. And then even if another pandemic strikes, we move online. Very, very versatile. No money in, not one penny. Started all with sponsorship. January 2024 will be close to 6 figures. So when people say you can't start a business, it's rubbish. It's very cliche, but yes, you can start a business with a phone and a laptop.
I agree.
But you have to provide a service and a product that people want, and you have to make the sales before you've launched your business.
I agree.
For lead generation, Daniel Priestley, oversubscribed. He's going to be on stage talking about it. So, it's very simple to start a business, really. But what the hard part is becoming the person to start the business. That's the hard part.
Why is that the hard part?
Well, because it's a change that you have to make internally from habits, routine, rebound time, rejection, failure, getting back on the horse, accepting that starting a business, you're probably not going to earn any profit for the first 12 to 18, possibly 36 months. You have to accept that. I am going to start a business, and for the short term, I will not earn a penny, but I'm going to have to put a fuck ton of work in.
Yeah.
Some people go, yeah, no, I'm not bothered about that. I'm just going to go into a job that I don't really like, to be honest with you, because it's easy. I just prefer plodding. There's nothing wrong with being a plodder, but I know that if I laid on my deathbed, I'd be miserable. I'd say, Aaron, you were a lazy fuck. You did bugger all. And your son is disappointed in you because you didn't provide more. I'm very proud that I can provide private medical care for my family. I really like that. Everyone can, by the way. So, for example, right, this is a reality. So, some people spend £40 a week on fags. So, let's just do that times 4. So, that's 160.
Nah, that's
Them-
normal,
No, that's minimal. Yeah, so I'm
that's
going
normal.
minimal,
Damn.
right? And that's minimal. And then say 100
Or even
between
the vapes as well.
the vapes. Then let's say an extra 100
think that's
for
a vape, like a 5,
going
7
out,
pound.
doing whatever. Let's just call it 560 a month, or call it 500 for some might be a little bit lower, right? And that's a month. Well, you do that by 12. That's 6,000 a year. Well, the average private medical care for a family of 4 is around about £4,000 to £7,000.
Really?
So they can
Oh.
already. So they can.
That's actually-
I
AXA,
thought you were going to
Aviva.
say 10,000.
No, there might be some excess that you have to pay. Like if you need
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bigger op,
Yeah.
you're gonna have that. You're gonna get in. That's the important part. You know, I was out hiking with my son. He had these lumps on his neck, and I thought, "Fuck!" I'd never seen it before. I remember ringing my wife, and I was like, "Fuck, he's got these lumps on." And she was like, "We need to go get him checked." Luckily, I could get him in, literally like that.
Because of private.
All it was lymph nodes, but
That
I
happened
panicked.
to me, to be fair.
What's
I
that?
panicked. Lymph nodes, like glands.
Something
I didn't
to do
know
with
what
fluids.
I didn't know what it was. Yeah, it was fluid, and it could have come up from a virus. But I thought, fuck, tumor, cancer. You know, you don't want to have to go to NHS where look, they're
Bare
overrun.
people are there sitting down.
They're
waiting.
understaffed.
I don't even
People are in the
trust them like
corridors.
that sometimes.
Sometimes you can't trust them. They give you the wrong medication. So, you know, people can afford more and people can do more. It's just that they don't like cutting off the fags, the booze, the football season ticket. They don't like it because that's their niceties. That's why I like doing that, right? But you want that, so you need to cut off that for the short term. It's like the whole thing with sleep. You know, people say, I've had this argument many times. I say, if you want to start a business and you want it to be really successful and you're having to work a full-time job, which in most cases most people are, sleep less. Oh, well, that's not healthy. I need 8 hours a day. Bollocks. We're only talking for 12 to 18 months. Sleep less. Oh, well, I don't want to do that. I really like my sleep. Right, well, stop fucking moaning about the cost of living. You can't afford anything and that petrol's gone up by 70p. Stop fucking pissing and moaning about it. No one cares. Oh, but it's really crap though, isn't it? Yes, but you don't want to go to sleep an hour later or wake up an hour earlier. Yeah, because I'm tired. Right, I can't help you. Crack on. I don't want to hear it. Honestly, that's how. Do you see where I'm getting at? Like,
I
this
see
is
what
kind of
you-
like I'm just so. I'm out. I'm out.
I like
I'm
the
done.
mantra.
I'm done.
It's no excuses. You're
Yeah.
the problem for everything in your life.
Yeah.
If there's a problem.
But the really cool thing is, as I have in my breakout program, when people apply to join my breakout program, when I know that they're 100% into it, I will back you to the high heavens and back. If you back yourself 100%, I will drive you forward like an unstoppable train. And I'll introduce you to everyone. You'll all know, I can't release it yet, but I have another mastermind next Wednesday with a self-made multimillionaire. He's massive on socials. He's a good friend of mine. And I'm very blessed that I can just make these phone calls and say, can you join my mastermind? Yeah, great, let's do it. It's going to pump everyone next week.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah. You know, I'll post about who it was when the mastermind's done and dusted.
I'm there November the 2nd, Thursday.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
But it's commitment like that.
And
Do you know how many people?
And you said it's focused on. Just the minute you said
Sales,
sales,
sales, and
So-
business. You've got Shah Woosman, look her up. Go on our page after and find out about the speakers. You know, but this is the thing. Do you know how many people turn around and say, yeah, Aaron, yeah, I'll come. It's in London. It's like an hour and a half on the train and it's like 50 quid and then I've got to pay for a ticket. You fucking lazy fuck. You can't pay for a 40 quid ticket and then get a 35 quid train ticket, but yet you want to change your life.
You don't want it enough.
You don't
You
want
don't
it
want it
enough.
enough, man.
And that's a basic. That's the basic. Buying a train ticket and going to an event. Oh, what a load of rubbish, it could change your life. All right then, don't come. Really not that bothered. Believe me. You don't want to be there? I don't really want you there, neither does my business partner. And do you know why we make the tickets so affordable? So everyone can get
can
in.
come.
I can't tell you too much about behind the scenes, but I can tell you now, we will keep it affordable so everyone can come from every walk of life, council estate, gangland, ex-prisoner. If you want that change, we're going to provide a room that's affordable for you to come in and listen to mega people. We're not going to do this whole, you've got to pay £400 a ticket. It's rubbish. So that's why they're so affordable. You just got to cover a train ticket wherever you're coming from. You know? But I've been told, Aaron, I'll come down to your event. Where were you? Oh, I was having a Ruby Murray. Right, okay. Literally not interested. Don't contact me anymore. Really not bothered. You know? I've many like it. Seen many like it. And the reason I'm so bullish about it is because I didn't make those excuses. I never have. No one's needed... I've never needed anyone to say, well, Aaron, you know, was it someone else's fault? No, it was mine. Today was a really bad day because of me. You know? How many people do you know like that? Not a lot. Very rare. No.
I feel like you're definitely hot, sick dad. especially for your son as
Yeah,
well.
no, yeah,
Like no bullshit.
No, and I
we're
have
making
him.
it happen.
That's why I bring him up. He's coming into London with me. I have him. He hears me talk like this.
Is it just
all
the one
the
you've
time.
got?
Yeah, he hears me talk like this all the time because it's reality. It's like we don't tell him that the world's really fluffy and nice.
That's how it is. Usually, family just feathered well. Oh, you're gonna be all right.
No.
It's not gonna be that.
No.
No one's just
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
cutthroat.
yeah. It's like, you know, we say to him, the Knightleys aren't losers. Like, we win. When you race, you win. And don't come to me after, you know, saying, oh, well, you know, I had a bad ankle. No, we win. Okay, you go in to win, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we're kind of losing that mentality of, you know, trying to really look in the UK. What I find a real shame about the UK is talking about success and money is frowned upon. Why? We'll talk about drugs, beer, booze, fags, like there's no tomorrow. But talking about meal prep, training twice a day, earning great money, becoming a better person and personally develop and learn and self-educating, it's frowned upon. It's nuts. How is that even? But yet you go over to America, they're so pro success and money.
Yeah.
They're like, man, this is fucking awesome. We're going to make some money. You know, like they love it.
That was a perfect
They
episode.
love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
They love it. But over here, it's like, don't talk about money because it's making me feel awkward. Yeah, if you are making money, don't talk about it. You know, if you're starting a side hustle, don't talk about it because my dad's only ever made like 22 grand and like you're making him feel uncomfortable. Right? Well, it's not my fucking problem. I wanted more from life and I want to talk about it. It's a good thing. Let's empower younger people to go out there and do really well.
Do you know what? It has been like that because when we was at work and we was talking about our plans, this and that, and they were looking like, guys, we understand you guys want to do this, but not everybody wants to do what you guys want to do. So
Yeah.
just keep
Yeah,
it.
don't talk about it too much. Yeah, because you kind of make. That's why I always say, in the workplace,
You know what?
yeah,
Do you remember thinking about it? I remember saying, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm only here for do this to get this. And then I'm going, and they're like, yeah, I understand, but other people want to do this. So
Yeah.
not talk about
it's like university. You know, going to college, going to university. It's fine. I get it. If you wake up, I don't believe anyone popped out the womb and was like, I want to be a lawyer or a doctor. I don't believe anyone wakes up with the passion to be a doctor or a lawyer. Line me up 100 doctors. I guarantee you've got a good portion there of family members that have been doctors. On the flip side of a lawyer, I guarantee you've got family members that have been a lawyer. And there's been this influence over time that has been, go down this formal route, get that solid job, and stick at it and do really well, and you'll live this type of life that we have. Don't think outside that box though, because that's the safe area. That's the zone that you need to stay in. Turning around and still saying, don't go to college and go to uni. Me turning around and saying, do not go college, do not go uni, be an entrepreneur and experiment with things. Start an online business, start a YouTube channel. You know, start talking about things that you're really passionate about. I did a
Big
video.
facts. I'm big on that.
I did a video yesterday on TikTok, which was me telling people to start. You know, I'm just going to creating content on TikTok in me. Anyway, that just sort of only cut it off. But anyway, in that video,
so many possibilities, and it could change
on here.
your life, quite literally. It's very, very strange.
Here we go,
to
wait for
say
it,
that
punchline.
Platforms such as TikTok could change
We're
your
gonna wait
life,
for the punchline.
but it could. I've been on TikTok just over 12 months now, and I've done in total 250 million views plus. I'm showing some of them here. I can't.
Just over 12 months on TikTok, and I've done over 250 million, 250 million views organically. No paid ad. Do you know how much Google companies will pay for 250 million views? Millions of dollars worth in ad revenue, and you can get that, and that can change your life. It's really weird to say that a platform like TikTok could change your life. It sounds like what? Tiki-toki could change your life.
Tiki-toki.
It could.
Yeah, that's what I want to call it. still.
It could.
Tiki-toki.
It could change your life. YouTube can change your life. You know, Jason sent me his earnings the other week. He likes to rub it in. Something like $8,500, you know, in a month. It's
Just
nuts.
from
And that's
YouTube ad
low
revenue.
level. That's low level.
And is that just the
That's
ad
low
revenue?
level. That's just ad revenue.
Without the sponsorships and everything else.
Look, Jason made $2.1 million in 3 months because he had a back-end product. He had a back-end service. He had a back-end business, which led into his ecosystem. He had a 2 million view video on YouTube that popped. It was 2.5 hours long. He added a huge amount of value and credibility on a free platform that we can all start. And he had a back-end infrastructure of a business, of a digital product and a program, which people then went into his ecosystem, bought the first product, loved it because it was so valuable, went on to the second and the third, signed up for the full subscription. Total revenue, $2.1 billion in 3 months. It's all on his socials. You can go check it out. And he's got a full video on how he done that. $2.1 million in 3 months.
Mad.
It's possible. It's rare, but it's possible. You need to add huge amounts of value, solve a problem, and be consistent with it. So you become the face of that problem solving thing, whatever you do. So starting a YouTube channel, starting writing ebooks, 10 best ways to make a tuna sandwich. Whatever.
Somebody's gonna buy it.
I'd probably buy it.
Someone
That's
will buy
like
it.
10
You've got to
ways.
market it the right way. Like before you create a program, sell it. Someone said to me the other day, I really want to open up a gym. Get all the gym memberships first and then open up the gym. Because then you know if the demand's there. Worst case scenario, you refund people back and say, look, whatever. So it's too easy not to. And look, when I talk about university, do you start a business or do you go to university? 4 years, learning from someone who probably hasn't actually done what they're teaching about. Business is a great one.
Business is great. Yeah. It's the first
This is how you start a business. Sir, have you ever run a business? No. I'd be leaving. I wouldn't even stick around. I'd be thinking, what? This is like an overweight guy trying to teach you how to get abs. Or
Took a minute for that to land for you. Didn't
or 4 years learning business, investing, networking, self-developing, all on a lower budget. Audible, $9.99 a month.
Yeah. Wait, how many books do you get in that?
One credit a month.
You get 1 credit a month.
Or you can choose, like, during the month, they'll incentivize you to say, look, pay another £4 and we'll give you, like, 2 credits.
Okay. Yeah, no.
But it's worth it. Even if you do 1 book a month, it's 12 books a year, that could change your life. Books are underestimated. It's...
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
said, because I said I read for like an hour a day, and I
Yeah.
just feel like it's so much.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
Yeah,
imagine
sick.
how much Richard Branson would charge for a 1-to-1. But yeah, all the questions you'd probably ask him are in his
in
book.
the book.
book.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So, yeah, self-education in 4 years, but then there will be some people on the university side that won't like that because they'll be bitter because they realise that was a possibility, but they chose this route, and that's where they are. So they have to accept it. So they go into a phase of denial. So what they do is they oppose the entrepreneurial way because that's what they could have done, but they haven't done it. Minimal educational budget, more success, longer, tied up, bigger debt, trying to now get a job that they can't get. 84% of all graduates by the age of 24 change career from the one that they graduated to
In
do.
uni. Wow.
85% of all graduates on a recent study that leave A levels or their degree never get the job that they want. So 84% by 24 change jobs. 85% after graduation do not get the job that they were, learning for. That's nuts. And then there's 85% of all UK working adults, this is a survey done this year, 85% of all UK working adults, which equates to about 43 million adults, hate their jobs.
Not surprised.
It's nuts. It's like, I can't comprehend. But yet you'll still get the smart ass that will go, oh, but I took a gap year and I just met the most incredible people and I travelled to Thailand and I rode this huge elephant and the photos are insane and I really found myself.
Why are the accent so good?
Yeah, no.
But how many people have you heard that? I found myself. You found yourself? What do you mean you found yourself? Well, I found myself. I'm just like, right, okay. I was getting on with shit, and you found. I don't know. I am my own man, and I'm totally different. There'll be some people that think, what an arsehole. But 4 years, then people take a gap year to go off and travel, and then I've had people turn around to me and say, well, I'd rather travel while I'm young, not when I'm old and decrepit.
I've had someone say that to me, and it took me a minute to think. They go, all of us guys have been on holiday. You haven't been on holiday once. But I'm thinking, why are you guys on a holiday? I was out building the podcast. I was out learning skills. I was out doing things that actually matter.
You keep talking, my man, because this whole thing about traveling early, there is one here that
It took me a minute to think about it because I was like, yes, I ain't traveling, but wait a sec, what happened? And then I was like, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. I'm in a better position than when you went on holiday.
I think it's avoiding reality. And it's okay if you've got rich mummy and daddy. like to come back and
Must be
everything
nice.
could be. It must be nice.
Must be nice. Yeah, it must
But,
be
you know,
nice.
people
It
have
must
turned
be
around to me and
nice.
said, "Well, Aaron, I wouldn't want to go travelling. You're talking about travelling when you're older and you've got a family and you're all old and decrepit." No, I'm 31, and now that I have a family, I wouldn't want to go anywhere in the world with them not seeing it anyway. Why would I want to go with a friend, piss about, or I can go with family? And one of my favourite videos. I mean, this is in a beautiful 5-star platinum hotel in Alcudia.
With the sun.
I travel pretty well now. And I'm off to Disney in a couple of weeks. So, and I went away for my birthday as well. I travel when I want now. And like I say, I'm not flashy and I'm doing that for effect. But the point is true. So my son gets to experience these beautiful places as well. And next year we're going to go for this lovely Antalya holiday where Jason Derulo and Mariah Carey are playing. No, sorry, Christina Aguilera are playing.
Sick.
So it's like,
Sick.
I'm 31. So this whole old
that's
and
still
decrepit.
young.
I know,
You know
yeah,
what
but
I
that's,
mean?
what, that's what I'm
Young,
saying.
yeah.
So this whole old and decrepit travelling, what are you going on about? I'm not old, I'm not decrepit. I'm in good shape. I'm healthy. I've built my lifestyle for longevity. I've made smart decisions. I didn't go to Union College. I'm not saying that going to Union College is not right, but I'm saying if you have a flair, you can turn around to say to your parents, look, I know you wanted this for me, and I know that Uncle Steve was a lawyer and Mum was a doctor and stuff like this, but it's not for me. I don't want to do that. I want to be a
Straight
YouTuber.
up.
I want to be a YouTuber. Support it or not. I'm not asking you to get involved, just support it. Simple as. There's always, the grass is green where you water it, but we're in a world of abundance of information. Like we have all the resources at our fingertips. It's very minimal. We can start businesses literally from home. But are you willing to do the extra hours? Are you willing to explore things? And are you willing to build the network needed to take you to that next level? It's all possible.
That's so true.
Before we wrap it up, I want to ask you one more question. I feel like I know what the answer is going to be. Well, I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you have any regrets or anything that you wish you'd done slightly different?
No, not really. No, I don't have any regrets. I think you look back and you think, what if? What could have been? If I had done that. So there's kind of like, how would it have played out? But I don't have any regrets. Again, I don't really have. I could sit here and paint a sob story. I could paint one and it would sound great. But there's no point. So I don't really have any regrets because what can you actually, when people ask that question, what can you do with the regret? Like, what can you do with it?
Learn from it.
Yes, you learn
Yeah.
from it. Yeah, you learn from it. But what can you do talking about regret? Other than perhaps teaching, maybe bringing a bit of awareness of someone else. But I think the thing with regret is that regret for me, the reason I don't have any regret, I think, so actually there is a lesson here which I probably want to share. The best way to never regret is to do everything that you want to do. And just to be that little bit selfish in trying to seek your own purpose and not trying to do things for other people. So I can sit here and say, at 31 years old, my entire life, I've not done anything for other people and their benefit. I've done it because I enjoyed it or I wanted to do it, and I've not been influenced or swayed to do something that has made me question, one, myself. It's never lowered my self-esteem. So some people in today's world have lower self-esteem, insecurities, don't really know where they are, don't know who they are, all because they've been people-pleasing their whole life. I haven't, and I've fallen out with people for that. I am Marmite. You either like me or you don't. But the great thing is, you know where you stand with me. There's no I'm not really sure about him. Can't quite work him out. I'm sitting on the fence. Well, sitting on a fence hurts for one. And
It's better to polarize sooner as well.
yeah, and then you know where you stand with someone, so you can make a decision. And also, then you can go your separate ways. So I know that I will sit on my deathbed one day and I will not say to myself, I could have done more. I utilise every free hour for productivity, health, family, money for the right reasons, and I look after everyone that I can as much as I can. So, there's a lot of what ifs, how would that have played out, but I don't have any regrets.
Are you happy?
Very, very content. And
Content.
content. Yeah, people say to me, I've been asked this question, are you happy and what's your version of success? My version of success and happiness would be, in the next 10, 15 years, little house, little end of terraced or terraced house, little cottage, copper pans, quiet lifestyle, businesses ticking over, me just overseeing things, and out the way, and just quiet.
Fantastic.
That's all I want.
Same as me.
Don't want anything else. I'm not bothered about I've never been keeping up the appearances. You know, we live a very humble life. Like, you know, I would say probably that, you know, the one thing that is kind of a luxury in our life is that we eat out every night at a restaurant.
I think I remember you said that.
That's like the one. That's like the one. That's like the one perk.
Every day,
Because
most days you have
yeah,
time to eat
like
out.
saying, how do you manage everything? Well, I'm tired, and last thing I want to be doing is
cooking.
yeah,
Whipping
like
up
I've got a
another-
nice gardener.
That's another hour. That's another
Yeah.
hour or two.
Like, you know, got a gardener. Very blessed to have like a gardener. Got a big garden and stuff. So little things like that. Debating whether to have a cleaner, but all those things are leverage of time. And that's kind of, but again, it's all used for the right reasons.
So
It's
when
not
do you
flashy.
get to that level though? Because someone else spoke to us. So we have a manager. You know, he was like, you need to clean out when you get to that level. Certain times you don't want to be doing the low income tasks that you can have someone else do.
Yeah.
But when do you get to that level?
I think you get to that level. It will tell you. Like
You'll know.
I think you'll know. Yeah. Like so when you're on the cusp or a breakthrough, and you're like, if we really focus in and we make tweaks and we dial in and we work this little bit smarter, we could make good money here. That's where it's like, for example, that's where you need to sideline all the other shit. Like if you work from home. The reason I don't work from home and I'll go to like travel to London or I'll work at a nice cafe or a nice cafe bar, the reason is because I'm leaving an area of my house where I know that if I sit around, I'll dither because I'm quite domesticated. I'll clean, I'll put the dishwasher stuff,
Same.
I'll get the washing out. So subconsciously, I'm doing things that are actually taking up my time where I should be earning money and building. The dishwasher and clothes can wait till 10 at night if they have to. It's not a priority. So, and when you get to the stage where you're about to make that money, you drop everything else. Has to be, your first thing of every day has to be income generating. You should not be doing emails and posting in the morning or any socials in the morning. Income generating. Switch off the world if you need your phone. But the first thing in the morning from 8 to 11:30 is how do we earn money?
That's like Dan Cole. He has a 4-hour work week where he goes for 4, because he goes, the best time is when there's limited distractions in the morning. He goes, a lot of people are still sleeping. So he was like from 7 to 11 work.
Yeah, and then I'll do all my mundane tasks
after.
at night.
Yeah.
So when everyone's asleep in the house, I'll lay there in bed. And if I have to stay out until 2 a.m, I'll do that. And there will be some people say, that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
But to who?
It's very subjective.
Yeah,
online,
you're
you know,
saying it's unhealthy to me, but
It's
to
like
what-
people say, yo, you work too much. But then in my head, I'm like, I don't work enough. And
Yeah,
it's very
because look,
subjective.
if you love business, I know, you know, again, ultra high level successful business owners, they all love what they do. But this is the funny thing. Some people say, well, that's unhealthy. You're staying up till 2 a.m. You're only sleeping 4 hours a day. Yeah, but you're the one going into work tomorrow and you've got anxiety and depression because you hate your manager and you're going in and you've got no money in the bank. So hang on a minute, who's more unhealthy? I'm not popping any pills. I'm a bit tired. Yeah, it's not going to be forever. I'm building this empire, which is going to allow me to get away from the problem that you are and the rut that you're stuck in. So who's more unhealthy? Again, let's remind people, 85% of the working adult in the UK, is 43 million people are unhappy in their job, but they'll soon point the finger at an entrepreneur who's working 7 days a week. And it's balanced, by the way. It's not 7 days, 24 hours. Like I'll take my laptop to Disney. I might have a Zoom call in Disney. I might not. But I'll do it after we've done the rides. I'll do it after the park. Aaron, we need to jump on a Zoom call because we need to sort out this problem. You know, we've got whatever. Yeah, cool. Listen, I'm just about to go on frickin' Skyrocket, whatever. Give me an hour and then I'll jump on a Zoom when I'm back in the lobby. Yeah, cool. That's fine. You know, it's a balance. Well, there is no balance. But would I rather be in Disney doing a Zoom call or a consultation call? I mean, it's a cheek. And you're telling me that it's unhealthy for me. You're telling me this while you're on your break in a job you hate. It's ironic. You know, it's so... Look, if you want change...
He said he had to calm down.
I know.
Yeah, look, if you want change, you can have change. If you want to earn more money, you can do it. But if you just want, your best bet is the lottery. But if you really want it, you'll make moves in order to do it.
Now, would that kind of stuff be spoken at your event?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what,
there.
it's going to be hard. You'll come away pumped, and I'll introduce you to a few
I'm coming
people.
away pumped right now.
No, that's what I was
Are
saying.
you coming?
I'll come.
Right, good.
I'll come.
And then what I'll do...
I told you got me at the word sales.
Right.
Just send me the link to.
and what I'll do is
buy the
I'll sort you out. And you know, if you've got a friend each that you know might benefit or whatever,
Yeah, I could
we'll,
That's
we'll,
key, and everybody
we'll,
else.
we'll sort out two more. So we'll do a special deal for you, and then we'll sort out two friends of yours. So because that's the whole point, is when you're in that room, I promise you, you're going to come away and you're going to be like, we need to do more. Like we're not doing enough. Let's tighten this up. Let's become a little bit slicker. You know, processes and automation makes business really easy. Like, you know, the more you set things up, like I don't ever write an email. It's all copy and paste, or it's, you know, you select a button and the email's done. Like,
Chat GPT, one of your best friends?
ChatGPT.
Recently
But
becoming mine again.
processes is, you know, again, processes save time. So instead of like, if I bring on a new elite member now to my breakout program, what before in the early days, it would have been maybe a bit of a legwork, bit process to onboard them. Now it's all automated. It's all a lovely funnel. It's, you know, it's nice, slick. So, but yeah,
Brilliant.
This is
Aaron,
perfect.
I want to thank you for coming down.
pleasure.
Before we end it off, let them know where let the viewers know where they can find you if they need your help for anything.
Well, firstly, this is all going to be cut up into some big viral clips where we're going to drive some traffic.
That's the traffic. That's the main thing.
But just Aaron Knightley on all handles, on everything. You know, just
Keep it simple.
Google. Actually, if you go on Google, and type in Aaron Knightley, it actually put me as internet personality. Not that I'm loving that or anything, but I didn't even do that. It just did it automatically.
did that by
But-
itself?
Yeah, it just did it by
That's
itself.
it.
Yeah,
That's
just
it. That's
it
how
just-
you know you
it
made
now,
it to
it now
some level.
comes up on its own box.
Oh,
box.
on the right side.
And
Yeah,
you
on the
got
right
your
side,
picture
yeah.
as well?
Yeah, with a picture on all my socials and a write-up about me.
That's
Didn't even
it.
do it. But no, look, Aaron Knightley on all handles. So, yeah, but no, look, pleasure's been mine. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank
Aaron.
you, man.
no worries.
Appreciate
Dude, no worries. Cheers.